Hello, cherished viewers. Welcome to the program Mining for the Truth. Joseph Atta is my name from Ghana, West Africa. I'm here with my wife,
Sarah Atta.
Mining for the Truth refers to the process of digging to discover the undiluted doctrines of Christ. We attend Church of Christ. It has two reasons as follows. One, to teach the word. John 1 verse 1. In the beginning was the word, and the word was with God, and the word was God. You can prove reading Genesis 1 verse 1. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. The plural Hebrew word for God there is Elohim, God the Father, God the Son, Jesus Christ, the Word, God the Holy Spirit. Elohim means God is powerful and God of creation. Two, to teach the truth. John 8:32. And you know the truth, and the truth will make you free. What is the truth? John 17 verse 17. Sanctify them by your truth, your word is truth. What is the truth manifestation? John 14 verse 6. Jesus said to him, I am the way, the truth, and the life. No one comes to the Father except by me or except through me. The phrase except by me means that there is no any other name and anybody under which you are being saved except Jesus Christ. Acts chapter 4 verse 12. You might come to the Church of Christ. You are welcome. It's a carol. Doris Odonko, officially you are also welcome. And we welcome our official Mrs. Atta, Mrs. Sarah Atta. Thank you for joining me.
Thank you for having me.
Okay. Today we are moving straight to the topic, what is human being? What is human being? And we are taking our text from Psalms 89 verse 48a. Please you can read.
Psalm 48.
Psalms 89 verse 48a.
What man can live and not see death?
It's okay. Thank you. What man can live and not see death? So it means that life is equal to death. Of course, for Psalms, you can't say Psalm chapter. If you don't say chapter, that's why I say Psalms 89. We don't say Psalm chapter 1. No. Psalms, then you don't say chapters or chapter. So, what man can live without seeing death? So we are today asking, what is human being? You and I, who are we? By paraphrasing, before we even start with the teaching, if you want, you can find that a sermon. It means that once you are created, you have a lifespan. Officially, if you read Psalms 90 verse 10 and Psalm 89 verse 48a, you can see that all human beings, we are given lifespan. So 70 years or above. So every human being has expiry date. The moment you are born, you are going to die. So far as a woman has given birth to you, that means that there's a time for you to die. We read from Ecclesiastes 3 verse 1 to 8 that there's time for everything. A time to be born, a time to die. So the lifespan of every human being is 70 years or more. How old are you now? Subtract 70 from your age and see the remainder. Now, if you are a pilgrim as we are, then it means that the moment you have life, I mean, when you see the next day, you work out your own salvation with fear and tremble. Philippians, I think, 2 verse 12. Even animals, they are some animals, I would say some animals. Animals are fully aware that they have a shorter lifespan on earth. So every day they work. Every day they work. We can use the ants as an example. A flood can kill it and a whole lot. Even a wind can even blow it into where it will die. So the moment there's a day, they start to work. So also human beings we should be, but we are officially reactant. We think that we are living and living and living and living until death knocks unexpectedly. In fact, we do not have time to think about death. That's the whole thing. But I know that I will expire. We all going to. So we think that God invented man. So human being was invented by God. We are God's creators. A human being is a creature of God. A human being is a creature of God. When God created Adam, it was Adam whom he chose to name the animals, not the animals naming Adam. So we say that the highest form of a creature, or among all creatures, or among God's creatures, is a human being. So there's a great distinction between a human being and an animal. One, Adam named animals, not animals naming Adam. Two, we have a soul. Animals have no soul. Number three, we will be judged. No animal is judged. So do not equate human beings to animals. Of course, if you read science, kingdom animalia, it is believed that, biology, it is believed that by classification, both human beings and animals are from the same kingdom. Fine. Our interest isn't there. But you are hereby informed that in the Bible, human beings and animals are not the same. But we have the same destiny. It means that we all die and turn to dust. Dying to become a soil is different from our living and the features. So we as human beings, we have a soul. A human being is not an animal. Number 4 of the difference between human and an animal. Humans adopt animals as pets. No animal can adopt a human as a pet unless you see in this a cartoon movie where there are some kind of a fancies to officially pollute the air. So when we read Genesis 1 verse 26 and 27, it is saying that the highest among all creation is a human being. Once again, God invented. The word is He brought into existence. The same God, after He had created Adam, breathed in him, He created him. In Genesis 3 verse 19b. If you want to read, you can read it. Genesis 3 verse 19b.
In the sweat of your face you shall eat bread, till you return to the ground. For out of it you were taken, for dust you are, and to dust you shall return.
Very good. So also the animals will die and return to dust. So for the destiny or the fate, when I say FAT, we and animals are all the same, because we are all going to die to fertilize the earth. I think I've given topics, teachings on this before. But in terms of our existence, the reason why we are created, we are different. So here we think that the same God who created a human being also cursed. So death is a natural curse. We have come, and definitely we will go, or we shall go. We are created, we must die and return to our Maker. When we die, the soul goes to God. You are judged into either paradise or Tartarus. Luke 16 verse 23, where the rich man and the Lazarus died. We saw with that we have two destinations in Hades. So paradise for righteous, temporal place, and then the Tartarus for the rich man. Also temporal place for people who didn't do the right thing. Now, human being is a creature that must deteriorate. So deterioration means 1, inferior to become inferior in quality, to become inferior in efficiency. So you see that at times we find our grandmothers, our grandfathers, we find the aged finding it very difficult to walk. When you are born, you find it difficult to walk. So also when you are aged, you still find it difficult to walk. All human beings, or a human being is a creature that must deteriorate. The word is must deteriorate. And deterioration means inferior in quality, inferior in efficiency. We mean when you are no more functioning as before, when you are no more as useful as before, then you say you have deteriorated. Every human being transforms through various stages. So at the end, we will see the 4 stages of human life, or of every human being. That's our main objective. So someone may ask the objective is that by the end of the lesson, the learner, the listener, or the student should be able to differentiate between the 4 stages of a human being. So here we are still on the intro that every human being goes through some stages. Now, carry pigeon. Of course, carry pigeon is an adjective. So it is an adjective. Of course, when I was doing my diploma, 2017 to 2019, I was taught about part of speech, figure of speech. That's why the words I'm able to call out the part of speech. So adjective. Now, carry pigeon means beautifully shaped buttocks. When a woman but you did the reading, so why? She's my proofreader, so I'm surprised that you are laughing. Beautifully, it's when a woman has a beautiful, the word is beautifully shaped buttocks. It is called carry pigeon. We equate this to Aphrodite, the Greek goddess. When she appeared erotically to seduce, was when the word came. So mostly we attribute it to her invention. Of course, you don't know of Aphrodite. That's why they have aphrodisia and those stuff. So we are saying that even the beautifully shaped bottle sucks. So sagging. And we understand the sign for sagging. Defend. So when you have a teen girl between the ages of maybe 13 to 50 years, I am not sure that the buttocks will be as in shape or as it was in shape to compare an 18-year girl or 25-year girl or 30-year girl to a woman who is about 60 years. The buttocks has descended. So if we are marrying a woman due to buttocks, we are telling you that because she's a human being, the buttocks will sag with time. The hugging breast, hugging, the opposite of sagging is hugging. So hugging is when it stands. Now sagging is when it has descended. So the hugging breast also sags or sag with time. We are making reference to the intro to the stages in which the body undergoes through your lifespan. Why are you married? Marrying a woman with a hugging breast and thinking that the breast will remain as it is. Of course, there are people who go into plastic surgery to maintain their buttocks, their breasts. They fake their identities, but you can't cheat nature. By force, you must grow. I have never seen that an older woman who can't even walk on her own will still go for surgery for the buttocks to still be holding. In fact, the body is even shrinking. There are more wrinkles. So they will even say that no, now your immune system or your body is not that strong to stand the process of the surgery. The soft face and skin harden and wrinkle Some will choose a partner with so soft skin, so soft face, but it will become hardened and wrinkled. When we say hardness or hardening, it's a method of making a metal hard. That's the meaning of the word hardening. The teeth used to crack bones, to chew meat, to chew whatever you wanted, will uproot. These are stages of life. Of course, from here we are going there, but we're trying to give you the overview that the body undergoes some kind of transformation. Beauty is overtaken by ugliness. Compare an 18-year-old girl to 70-year-old woman. No matter how beautiful this 70-year-old woman is, the beauty is not the same as the 18 years. In fact, we must face fact in life. Some people are 90 years, that are 90 years, and I'm still young. Yeah, it is true. By then, when you should stand there naked, or who even say naked, when you look to the mirror, you yourself, you know that your body has changed from when you were younger. So you can't compare 80, 70 years, 60 years person to someone who is 18 years, someone who is in his or her prime. No. So beauty is the word is what? Overtaken by ugliness. Are you also aware that sometimes, considering how aged the person is, you even lose appetite to eat? Are you aware? Yes. You lose the interest to eat based on the body. I mean, how the body has transformed into. The most attractive becomes the most hated, and I saw someone who was so attractive. Now consider the beauty companies where they recruit more beautiful for adverts and yeah, models. Have you ever seen that? We have a model from 18 years to 90 years. No. As you are aging, they try to recruit fresh candidates. And unfortunately, the young will mock the old, the former.
Even with 30 for it to be hard.
Very good. That's the way to recruit you. Excellent. Very good. So you see, it is nature that the moment you crop 30s and 40s, at least, for sure, we might see some small changes in which will not be seen with the younger ones. So we say that the most attractive becomes most hated and I saw, as I mentioned earlier, people when they see you, in fact, some may even want to vomit, and some don't want to live with you in the same environment. I remember a story that a friend next told me that when she went for internship, she was assigned to a home where the woman had pampers for about a week and changed pampers. Meanwhile, the whole house belongs to the woman. The children are daughters. They were there and they came there. They even had to employ. So I was surprised. So you see, human being, they had abandoned their own mother. Why? Because she was then an eyesore. So they could no longer tend for her. So they had to employ the service of a nurse. And they were living in her own house that he has built or achieved with her hard-earned life and money. They had to employ her. Eyesore. So do you think that they will even eat closer to her? No. Because of old age. They wish you are there, they go and they are free. The old age even comes with sense. I mean, some kind of a body odor and a whole lot. Man then becomes a burden. Man, passing through all these stages, then become a burden. And when you are a burden, you become a dependent creature. Means that you need someone to rely on. So they are saying that liability more words and more phrases goes with reliability. Mostly we use this phrase when we are teaching about marriage. the girl or boy who couldn't live any meaningful life. So the girl was so lazy. And the encouragement is that unto every woman there's a man. And that's what they will say.
This is successful.
So it means that the end hope is that a man must marry her. Now, when this woman or girl is going to marry, because she's a liability, she wants someone which she can rely on. So we say liability goes with reliability. So also the boys who are so lazy, they dress neatly, they go to gym to appear so handsome, so that the women will sponsor them. So this is from both sexes. So we say that man then becomes a burden. And when you are a burden, you become a dependent creature. You need the service. I mentioned the mother to the children where they have to employ the nurse to go and then take care of her. She was then a burden. So therefore, she needed someone to tend for her. Nothing lasts forever. Simple. This is all what I'm trying to say. That even we human beings, we have expiry dates. So we are all expiring. On that, we move to the 4 stages. Of human being. 4 stages, or the 4 stages of human being. 1, you must grow. So grow. So 1 Samuel 2 verse 26. I'm sure. 1 Samuel 2:26. Oh, don't worry. I can even replace it. But when you open to, you can read. So the first stage is that you must grow. Now here, Hannah prayed to God and promised that if she's given or she was given a son, she was going to let her work for God. So Samuel was born. Do you still want to read it?
Continue.
Okay.
To 26.
Okay, so you can read it from me.
And the child Samuel grew in stature and in favor both with the Lord and men.
Thank you. He grew. So when you are born, by force you must grow. First stage, migration from childhood into adulthood. And this occurs through feeding. If you want to grow, you must eat. That's all. So far as you are being breastfed as an infant, so far as you are eating as I'm here, you must grow. So the first is grow. Or someone will say growth if you want. And you and I are not in the same state as we were all born. We all crawl. We began some steps into proper walking. Sometimes we're even given some walking aids. More or less a car where we pushed. Some held our hands to direct us. So there is direction in terms of the growth. And at the end, I'm standing here, you're also elsewhere. And gradually, we are moving ahead. So the 2 is, deplete. I think 1 Kings 2 verse 2. No, 1 and 2. Mm-hmm. Yes, I did. Because I know the story. It's 2, verse 1 and 2a. 1 and then 2a. Don't read it. I'll stand by it. So deplete. King David was about to die. King David had grown. And he was about to die. Means that he was very weak. and could no longer serve as he was serving in his youthful age. We mean he had deteriorated his strength. His efficiency was somehow a failure. And he knew very well that, no, I will die. So we say depletes or depletion. So therefore, he summoned the cabinet and then he chose his son, King Solomon, to continue from the former ignorance, meaning that where he could not. So Solomon was to continue and progress the lineage, of course, in terms of kingship. So depletion, to lessen. When we say deplete means to lessen. To lessen. So David, the immune system, the strength had failed him. The same David who killed Goliath is now looking for an assistant. During the patient stage, you look for someone to succeed you. That's all. So you can imagine. You and I, what have you done for God? What David did, we can't do it. And upon all what David did for God, if he died, or if he became weak, if he grew from the younger stage to the older stage, then it means that the birth tradition goes on. My friend, my brother, my sister, whoever you are, we in the Lord's Church of Christ, we face facts. We say the truth. As we are here, we can't be here forever and ever and ever. Let's give ourselves about 40 years from now. I am not sure that we will have this agility to stand here to read, to talk. By then, by God's grace, our children will continue. Of course, Psalms 127 verse 3 is saying that children are God's heritage. So by then, we can sit back so old. Sometimes you may even be dozing, snoring to disturb the younger ones. Sometimes they may even want to sack us. That mom and dad, please you go in because you are distracting man. See that you are even become.
We must be dead by then.
Of course. Or by then we are dead and gone. So you will just be listening to what I said. By then I'll be no more. And the younger ones will take over. We are remembering our Creator now. Ecclesiastes 12 verse 1. Because now we have the strength. So David, upon all what he did, not knowing that he was going to become inferior in quality and then efficiency. So therefore, he chose someone to succeed him. Now today, faith. So Genesis 57. This one is okay, you can read. One is.
You know the story.
Of course. And the story of Isaac. Now here, Isaac had grown old. He was visually impaired. Now when I say visually impaired, does not mean that he was born with it, but has come due to old age. And Isaac said that, I know this will send me to my grave. And it was through this visual impairment why Jacob and Rebekah could trick him as Jacob being Esau to bless him before Esau came. So that's how it is. Lose freshness. So Isaac was no more fresh. Strength and vitality, right?
Yeah.
Very good. So we are all fading out. By force, you must fade out. Time takes everyone out. Time will take you out. Your time will pass. Your time is now. Your time will pass. No matter who you are, no matter how you will fake it, you can't cheat nature. You can't defeat nature. I am saying that death is a natural curse. Genesis 7 verse 19a. We have all been cursed to grow and to die. Even if you don't die, you are still growing. So birthday is +1 - 1. People are celebrating birthday. Of course, today is Valentine's Day, 14th February. We are seriously minding for the truth. While others are jubilating, can you trace this in the Bible? Of course, it's seen as a pagan festive. You understand? We are Christians, so we don't follow the world. That Valentine's Day. Can you prove this in the Bible? You can't prove it. Today we are preaching, others are jubilating. For all you know, you can't celebrate forever and ever. Sometimes you travel to buy and eat the best food. We travel to the best country. We travel to the best tourist attractions. Tourist areas. The soul is never content with that. So we think that happiness is found only in the Lord. You go there to eat the food that you have desired so much, and the soul will still want more in future. Isaac was gradually losing his sight. He was fading. Now let's go to Ecclesiastes 12. Don't waste time. I'll paraphrase. Ecclesiastes 12 verse 3 to 5. And so let's see the fading there. Fading. Now, when you read the whole chapter and then verses as I've written on the board, we have decaying house. Of course, here is more or less figurative. So we are using figure of speech. So the figure of decaying house or decay house is used to describe the decay of the human body. Decay. The keepers of the house, we mean the arms and then the hand. What we use to clean, to shave, to bath, to wash. They keep the body. The house is making reference to the body. The keepers of the house. The arms and then the hand. Grow weak and tremble. Haven't you seen an older person? Then he shivers a lot. The person can't even hold anything. Before the person will hold, you see the hand will be shaking in that order. This is nature. Some were ill or sick throughout their youth, but some too comes in the old age. Grow weak and trembling. So weak that what you can lift when you were 30 years, when you were 70 years, you can't lift it. Someone can climb a full gallon of water. Someone was married and then the person could carry the wife. The person is now 70 years. Let's see if he can. Unless someone who has been gymming for, someone actually blessed. But we are making reference to the nature, how it works. That when you are 30 years, your strength is not the same as when you are 70, 80 years. The strong men, the legs. Please, we are here. Here is where we are. We have now moved from Isaac to Ecclesiastes. The strong men, you mean the legs, become feeble and bent. Now, feeble means weak. And then the bent means that at times it becomes bow leg. And even if not so, you see that there is a weakness in the knee. The grinders, of course, the teeth, make eating difficult. Why? Because they are few. Hey, then you are seen as a rich, precisely rich, the women. In fact, I'm surprised that in Ghana, almost all the aged women are riches. By force riches, by default. So you see that nowadays they fear to grow because the moment you grow, then they call you rich. If you are in a car and then you better come and then the young are all on you. I don't know whether they don't know that they are also approaching. I'm surprised that you are making fun of someone. Meanwhile, the person too was the same as you were some years back. You see, so in Africa or in Ghana, I will use Ghana. The moment you grow old, you are a rich or you are a wizard. All because we fail to understand the transformation. Because as you are growing, the mind is also shrinking. Sometimes you behave as if you were a kid. Everything you see, you will talk, you will ask. So as you are growing, your teeth, but of course, some have died 80 years, 90 years, where none had happened. Please, we are making reference to Psalm 89 verse 48, Psalm 90 verse 10, that as you are growing, the burden changes. If you are lucky, and then 90 years, you still have your full teeth, fine. But how often? When you find average, you see that most of them will be losing some of their teeth. So we are making reference to the majority to judge. Those that look through the windows, you mean the eye, grow dim. So some will have to go for aid, and aid. It could be a lens. Some will go for surgery, a whole lot. Some even become visually impaired, as we made mention of eye differences. I'm trying to remember 1 to 2. Sometimes you even need a walking aid. Maybe your grandchild or someone will have to hold your hand to help you cross. Please come and read this for me. Retrieve this number for me. Sometimes you can't even type on the computer because the vision is diminished and impaired. The doors are shut in the street, of course, making reference to the mouth, which lacking teeth falls in upon itself. So you see that this is how it will be. The cheek, this cheek or chin.
Cheek.
You see that the frame inside becomes the teeth, not the skin. In case you're not aware. So when you meet someone with this disfiguring face, they mean that the teeth are no more there. The skin cannot hold the chin. You say chin, cheek. Actually, it's cheek. There's chin. It's cheek. So when the teeth are no more there, okay, fine. You cut back your mind to when you saw an older person 60 years and above. The way they even eat. They can't chew. So they chew by the gum, just as when they were a child. Sometimes you have to boil the fish, boil them, for it becomes so softer. Even that one, they can't chew it so properly.
They swallow.
Then they swallow, just as you were a child. So we think that when the grinders are no more there, then you see that the skin goes back, and now you are good for studying horror movie, because you look so awful. You look so suspicious. Though you're not a witch or wizard, oh, then nature, officially you are tagged. Don't pass it, don't greet this man, don't do this. You are being rejected gradually from the society. So sometimes you are isolated. So see nature. Someone who was so liked by all is now being pushed elsewhere, because it is assumed that your state has qualified you to become a rich or you are a wizard. One rises at the sound of a bell means that sleep is light and easily interrupted. I didn't stay home with your grandma. You see, they can't sleep and they always worry you. Oh, it is morning, so wake up. Because they can't sleep. When they wake up, they will also see that you are also awake. By 4 a.m., go and sleep. You see, they are so disturbed. The moment there's a small sound, then they are weak. So they rise up early, even though there are no work for them to do. All the daughters of the music are brought low. I mean the voice. The voice. How can an 80-year-old woman sing the same as? I will even use a Celine Dion. Now she has lost her voice. Normally, when I'm talking, I don't want to mention celebrity as if you're mocking them. You see, yeah, they chose their path, so there's no need to come and preach against. But I'm just using as an example. So please forgive me if you are a relative or something. We heard that I think she has lost her voice also. So you see that nowadays, if she has a daughter in her prime, can sing better than the mother. So we are saying that all the daughters of the music are brought low. The voice is weakened, and hearing greatly diminished. So you have to shout and repeat before the person can even hear what you are saying. Also, they are afraid of heights and terrors in the way. So you see that, and when they are climbing a stairs, they need a walking stick or handrail. At times, they hold the wall as they climb. So the wall becomes their working aid or the supporter. Or when there's a handrail, that's why if you are in a home, if you are a welder being contracted to go and do a handrail for a porch or balcony or staircase, you should be careful. You have to first inquire those who are there. It could be for people who are aged. They will solely rely on that handrail. So if it is not joined correctly, secured well, they fall down with it and then they die. So it means that you have caused the death. And if you go and meet a family who is very versed with the law, they can prosecute you for your ignorance. Because they paid you for a service and then rather it can become a problem. So they have the right to sue you. So they fear heights. And then they need someone to help them as they go. Otherwise, they stumble. They are afraid. When the almond tree blossoms, means that the fading of the hair color to white. So we are aware that when you grow, of course we have some young boys who are born with gray hair, but by nature, gray hair is linked to when you are growing. As I'm saying, some are hereditary, some have gray hairs at the age of 30, some were even born. This isn't what we are making reference to. We are making reference to the natural cause. So the moment you see gray hair, you see that death is approaching, or a warning that you are somehow growing, and sometimes to the fading into bad hair. The hair is completely bad. However, this too sometimes occur somewhere you are 20, 30, but we are making reference to when you have got somewhere 70 years. Someone with so bushy hair, when you look at the pictures when he was younger, and now the head or the hair are all fading. Then the grasshopper is a burden. It means that when you are going, you drag your feet, so feet dragging. Or sometimes you have to hold something before you're able to go. Some were even an athlete. Where they could run, they could play football, do all athletics for their country, for their teams and others. Now they need an aid before they can. And desires fail, as we saw with 1 Kings 2 verse 1 and 2. Now, David had no desire for any woman again. You see, he was a womanizer. If you continue from the 2 to 4, I think so. Where they brought a woman, a Shunammite woman, to even, arouse her sexual, all didn't work. The enjoyment of the youthful pleasure is gone. No more there. No more there. David was a complete womanizer. He even went on further to marry Abigail when the husband died. Every woman he liked. But when he was about to die, he found the woman so disgusting. He had no pleasure in her again. They will all go away because you are aging. The hormones will die. God gave to the young and strong work. Food and sexual love have faded 1 Kings 1 verse 2 to 4. This is our destiny. This is our destiny. If we live a normal life, that's why I make reference to devoid of surgeries and others. When you are living the life that God has given you, this is what we all pass through. Nothing lasts forever. Time takes everyone out. So our responsibility to the Creator is that we must always expect, as we grow, to encounter these problems. Last will be on fleeting. Fleeting. Number 4. Let me look at it. So fleet, if you want. Fleet or fleet. Hebrews 9:27. I think A, right?
Yeah.
We are still on Psalms 89 verse 48a. Then the same Psalms 90 verse 10. Don't read them. Already have been summarized. To transit is the meaning of fleet. To transit. We also use fleet for wealth. When someone was so super rich, and because it was something temporary, now the person has become poor, all the riches are gone. Fleet. To transit, that is pass away. You will die. Hebrews 9 verse 27 is saying that. For it is appointed for man to die once. So you will die once. When you die and die properly, no medicine, no one can raise you again. During the COVID era, we have international doctors who are experts, who were trained by the COVID. I was surprised. A doctor who has been saving human life was also killed by an illness or disease. I'm surprised. So this should tell you that no one cures no one in this life. If this doctor has life in his own hands, why did he die? Or why did they die? God is using us as his delegate, okay, to do what he wants to do. So if you're a driver, don't think that you are on your own. God used Moses to help the Israelites to cross the Red Sea. If you know that when he was at the bank of the river, Pharaoh and them were coming. Why is that Moses called Jesus Christ? If he was on his own, he was on his own, right? They say that he was on his own. Why did he look for the Supreme? He should have crossed. He was told what to do. So Moses did not cross the Red Sea with Israel. This is things that you must know by using common sense to teach the Bible. Everyone is sentenced to the grave. These are things that you must know. For it is appointed for man to die once, and after it, judgment. We all die. Isaac is dead. All the prophets and the apostles, they are all gone. They are all, even Christ died. Because he was a savior, he could, of course, overcome death. But we are all going to die. We all fleet. We are all fleeting. We are all pilgrims. We are passing away as we see a sand being carried by a wind from one place to the other. We are all fading. When you plant, you see that the plant, if it's plantain, will grow, you harvest, and has given birth. In that order, the first one that you planted is no more there. You can't even trace it. So also, my grandfather is dead, my father is dead. Meaning that I will also die. My children, in that order. Now, if you go to Ecclesiastes 12 verse 7, if you want to read, can read from Ecclesiastes 12 verse 7, it's saying that life is ended by death. If you want, you can also believe it. Life is ended by death. Now, what is death? Death is the return of the body to the dust, as we read earlier. From that you were created, from that you shall also return. So we are all created from the dust or the clay or the sand. We are also returning to the same clay or sand. Life and death, you see, they go together. Life and death, a cycle in the endless repetition. You are born and you die. That's all. You are born and you die. So we say that a cycle of endless repetition. This will reoccur in that order. Death is a natural order. On that note, we see you next week, carefully with the topic, the beginning of modesty. That's what we will treat next week. On that note, we will end the quiz. Do you have any question? Okay, see you then next week. Bye-bye.